Welcome to Shadow and Logician podcast. My name is Shadow,
And my name is Josh Logician.
and today we're going to be talking about beginning HTML and CSS in your web development journey.
Yeah. So first, we have some advice for you.
While you're doing this challenge, you might want to be participating in the 100 Days of Code Challenge. It's basically where you code at least an hour every day for 100 days, and you have to post on some sort of social media with the hashtag 100 Days of Code, and it brings you into this community where you could learn just by looking at other people's posts.
And we recommend you to learn with friends because when you got stuck, you can say your friends to help you, and maybe they can help you.
Yeah, Discord servers are very great for finding programming friends.
Yes, right.
And another thing is, don't get frustrated when something's not working. If everything worked the first try, then you wouldn't be programming. Eventually, it's going to stop working, but you have to look for resources and not get as frustrated.
When you get started with web development, you should learn HTML and CSS first because it's like the core fundamentals of it.
Yeah, it's like the HTML is like the skeleton, and CSS is kind of like the styling, and they're very important. They're very important for when you're starting web development. Without HTML and CSS, you couldn't design websites.
That's right. But then we recommend when you can create like very basics of website, we recommend you jump right into basic of JavaScript.
Yes, JavaScript is very good making websites interactive. There's lots of places to learn it. You can go on like online courses and stuff. JavaScript is a very popular language. You also want to make sure you implement JavaScript into some beginner projects to test your skills on JavaScript.
That's right. And also, if you learn JavaScript, you can create a lot of stuff, not just web.
Yeah, you can create you make your websites like 10 times more interactive, as if just HTML and CSS is kind of boring.
Yeah, and to help you to make your website more interactive, JavaScript DOM is one of the good way.
Yeah, JavaScript DOM is very helpful for web development.
Yeah. Then we recommend to learn Bootstrap. What it's do is a CSS and JavaScript library. It's make your website faster, more beautiful, and also responsive.
Yeah, especially the Twitter Bootstrap. It makes your the libraries are very helpful for when you're trying to create a website.
Yeah, and in the internet trend right now, they say that Bootstrap should die, but I don't think so because they say like it don't help you, and then your CSS skill will be not good. But the reason the creator of Bootstrap say that Bootstrap create it to make your web development time faster. So yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Bootstrap's still very helpful, and I still recommend Bootstrap.
Yes, right.
Also, CSS preprocessors are very good. I've personally learned less, not Sass, but I know preprocessors are used by big companies, and you can basically put variables in your CSS, and it helps you work on your CSS better. It's also compiled, so you'll learn a lot about compiling then.
And also, like, programming?
Yeah, a lot of programming, how to use your command prompt, stuff like that.
And then, a lot of frameworks, and two of us don't know even one framework, so we cannot, like, talk about this a lot.
We just know that frameworks are very helpful, like Angular, React, Vue.js. We know they're very good and helpful, but we ourselves do not know much about it, but you should still research about it. So some extra skills that will help you are Git. So you can download Git into your computer, and you basically type commands into it, and you upload your code to either GitHub or GitLab. Logician recommends GitLab because it's free and open source with more features than GitHub. I personally use GitHub. He uses GitLab. They're both good.
The reason that I'm using GitLab is like it's more feature rich and you don't have the paywall. So in GitHub, you need if you want a private repo, you need to pay for them, right?
Yeah.
But in GitLab, you don't need to pay for them. So yeah,
Oh, okay. So yeah, GitLab seems more like
yeah,
more features than GitHub.
yes, right. Yeah, so that's our little tips
Yeah, those
for
are,
backend. There are some language like Python, PHP, Go, Ruby, on Rails, and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, so picking a backend language is very good because having just front end is you also want to know what's going to happen in your back end. Knowing what
Yes, right.
a back end developer does as well as a front end developer because you can get a better job knowing both. If anything, so like back end languages are like where real programming kind of comes in. JavaScript is kind of real programming, but like you get into the more complex stuff like Python, PHP, Golang, Ruby on Rails, Xler. But like once you start like with one language, the rest will come much easier.
Yes, right. And when you're doing backend, you can make your websites more cooler. Like you can build a login system, accounting system, point system, leveling system, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, back end basically takes care of like everything that doesn't show up on the screen. So like front end is like what it looks like, and back end is what it does. So like a
Yeah,
comment section, the front end developer would take care of how the comment looks, and the back end would make sure it gets to the server and stuff.
yes, right. Like Google, when you hit search, it will search the term that you put into the search box and search in their database.
Yeah, and it takes a back end developer to make that work, and the front end developer makes sure what the search box looks like.
So that is for the backend languages. Now when you have the basics of the backend thing, or yeah, then you can move to some fun stuff like authentication too or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good tool to use too. Also, Docker's very good. I don't have very much experience with Docker, but I know Docker is very
Me
good.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
At this point, you can basically you can go in any direct. So once you know most of this stuff or all of it, you can get adventurous. You can maybe like make a game or an app or something, but like testing your skills is probably the most important thing at this time. Talking with other people on Discord servers,
Reddit
friends.
communities, Facebook group.
Yeah, all this stuff is very helpful for when you're trying to program.
Or some things I don't add it is like you can ask your questions on Stack Overflow.
Yeah, on Stack Overflow, um, yeah, you can get your questions asked. Sometimes you might have like a stupid question, so you might want to ask like your friends first before you ask on Stack Overflow, because like
Yeah.
the community will not accept your stupid question for some reason. Like I tried asking like a very simple question and I got like a bunch of like dislikes and stuff, and everybody was like telling me it was a stupid question. So like make sure you ask like your friends first and then ask Stack Overflow, because Stack Overflow has a lot of experienced people looking for experienced questions.
So yeah, I think that, but we will discuss it in depth more in later.
Yeah, we can do another episode on that. Also,
Yeah.
for computers, you do not need a good computer to run programming. So
That's
like,
right.
yeah. So I had a very slow laptop for 3 years, and I had the program on that, and it was like it had an Intel Pentium and like integrated graphics and stuff, and it was very slow.
Also for tools, we recommend Atom. We bought you Atom's text editor.
Yes, Atom is probably my favorite. It's the only text editor I've used other than Microsoft's, but I don't like Microsoft, so. But
Yeah, me too.
yeah, Atom has this cool thing called like I think it's called like I forgot what it's called, but you can like type with other people while you're like coding. So like
Oh yeah.
it's called teletype, and
Ah,
you can both program at the same time on one file, and you just share a link. So that's probably, if you have a question, you can just share that link, and other people can look directly into your code through Atom.
that's right.
So that's one reason why I like Atom the best. You can use others. There's Slime Text. You can even use, if you don't have any of those just yet, you can start on your Notepad. But we highly recommend you get Atom.
Yeah, but the second thing is Atom is created by GitHub.
Oh yeah, Atom is created by GitHub and isn't. Oh, so is it owned by Microsoft now?
Yeah,
Oh no. Okay, so now
that sucks.
now Microsoft has two text editors.
Huh. But I don't think that Microsoft will touch the Atom editor real soon.
Yeah, as long as Microsoft doesn't do much to Atom, Atom is still a very good text editor.
Yeah.
So yeah, that basically concludes our podcast. There's links in the description for our Patreon. Make sure you support our Patreon. Also, make sure you click the Discord server link. That's where we all talk about programming and stuff. And it's, like we said earlier in the podcast, a great resource to meet new programmers, and get your questions answered.
Yes, right. So, yeah, that's the end of our podcast. Hope you like it. And yeah.